I'm David Garfield. There's a backstory and there's a front story. I'll tell you the backstory first, although I think the front story is probably much more important with respect to Eli. The backstory is that I was the guy who was with Richard in the Hebrew school who really didn't want to be there either, whose father said to him, well, why don't you try it? And then who tricked him and said, well, now that you've started, you have to finish. I was blessed because I had company in this onerous experience, and we became extraordinarily bonded when our rabbi, Mr. Glustoff, would throw chalk, and he had a strong right arm, and he would hit you with the chalk. He wasn't afraid to blind you with the chalk. So Richard and I became fast friends in the trenches. And I sort of had a different position with respect to the Lane family, but that was my entree into the Lane family, and Richard and I have been fast friends ever since. But I was sort of the outsider who was allowed inside to sort of see how this family worked, and Richard and I would pal around, and I noticed that Eli had an office in the house, and I didn't know at that time what a psychoanalyst was, even though I was to later become one. But you know, Dr. Lane would see, Dr. Eli Lane would see a lot of patients in the office in the home, and he'd go in there and, you know, see these folks and talk to them, and you never, as a young person, sort of knew what was going on there, but it seemed like it was important, and he took it very, very, very seriously, that's a lot of the backstory. The front story is that having gone to the Analytic Institute where Eli trained and seeing how well respected he was there, I wasn't particularly surprised about that. But the real front story comes from today, and I saw the picture of Eli there, and I realized that this was a guy who had a heart of gold, and he did not know how to let it out of his chest. And it often was contained by this fierce, impressive intellect that would not let that heart of gold show itself. He obviously, from everything that I've heard, could allow that heart of gold to come out when he was in that room with his patients. And it was really a formidable healing combination to have that kind of passion and love for people mix with his very, very strong, bright, creative, intellectual mind. And it was that combination of his heart and mind, I think, that had such a profound effect, healing effect, on those who were fortunate enough to be his patients in that room. And I also realized today that his, to my mind, seeking to find a way for that heart to express itself and get around that intense, constricting at times, intellect, never died, even with the death of his first wife, and he was seeking a way to have it come out, and he, I think, not only was blessed, but also sought out someone like Harriet, who could, through whatever way she had, help him in that quest that he had to sort of allow his heart to come out. And he was really lucky to have you, because you really helped him complete something that he needed to complete. That's the front story.